Good day, ladies and gents, wherever you may be around the world. And this is just a little stream to plug a stream I have tomorrow at 8 p.m. UK time, which is 5 a.m. Eastern Australian time. Lucky me. With Horus and Ataman. And we are going to be talking about Britain between about 1919 and 1942, the Washington Naval Treaty, and Winston Churchill, which you guys may find interesting. But anyway, I'm going to start us off with a little bit of a tune here, as I often do. Pum, pum, pum.
Now the drums beat up again for all true soldiers, gentlemen. And let us list and march, I say, over the hills and far away, over the hills and o'er the main, to Flanders, Portugal, and Spain. Command commands and will obey, over the hills and far away. Gentlemen who have a mind to serve a queen both good and kind, enlist and enter into pay, then over the hills and far away, over the hills and o'er the main, to Flanders, Portugal, and Spain. Command commands and will obey, over the hills and far away. No more from sound of drum retreat will Marlborough and Galway beat the French and Spaniards every day, over the hills and far away, over the hills and o'er the main, to Flanders, Portugal, and Spain. Command commands and will obey, over the hills and far away. 40 shillings on the drum for those who volunteers to come. Shirts and clothes and present pay, over the hills and far away, over the hills and o'er the main, to Flanders, Portugal, and Spain. Command commands and will obey, over the hills and far away. The apprentice Tom he may refuse to wipe his angry master's shoes, for then he's free to sing and play, over the hills and far away, over the hills and o'er the main, to Flanders, Portugal, and Spain. Command commands and will obey, over the hills and far away. We then shall lead more happy lives by getting rid of brats and wives, sold on both the night and day, over the hills and far away, over the hills and o'er the main, to Flanders, Portugal, and Spain. Command commands and will obey, over the hills and far away. For if we go 'tis 1 to 10, when we return all gentlemen as well as they, went over the hills and far away, over the hills and o'er the main, to Flanders, Portugal, and Spain. Command commands and will obey, over the hills and far away.
Okay, that was Over the Hills and Far Away in the more original version that you may have heard in the Sharp series. But anyway, look, guys, tomorrow I'm doing a stream with Horus and also Ataman, and we're going to be looking at basically British geopolitical positions between 1919 and about 1941-42 mostly. We're also going to be looking at the Washington Naval Treaty and at Winston Churchill. I think most people who know me, I'm not a big fan of Winston Churchill. But I'm also not a Thomas 777 type who just swallows all that sort of disinformation, shall we say, whole. Because, in my opinion, he does. I don't dislike Thomas 777, but if you look at a lot of the stuff he does, he just swallows everything the Natsoks say and says it's correct. Like, there is no point at which he disagrees with them. Me, I don't particularly like Winston Churchill, but I'm also not a great Adolf Hitler fan. And I'm most certainly not a Stalin fan. So, there we go. So if you want to get something a bit more balanced than you might get from many channels on the right, come and watch us tomorrow, 8 p.m. UK time. I think that's 5 a.m. Australian time, and I think it's about 1900 GMT. And you can hear us talking about real stuff rather than just swallowing one story or the other whole. I've been looking forward to doing this stream for some time, and I'm going to be spending most of this day going through Pat Buchanan's book, Hitler, Churchill and the Unnecessary War, which it's kind of based on, but it's also based on, as I said, on the Washington Naval Treaty, and to some degree, the last 1,000 days of the British Empire, which is another good book that I would recommend to people. So come and check us out tomorrow, and you might get something a bit realistic rather than something very biased one way or the other, I guess. Well, we'll see. I'm going to play us out with a tune, just as I like traditional British tunes, really.
Farewell and adieu to you Spanish ladies, farewell and adieu to you ladies of Spain, for we've received orders to sail for old England. We hope in a short time to see yous again.
We'll rant and we'll roar like true British sailors. We'll rant and we'll roar all on the salt seas until we strike soundings in the channel of old England. From Ushant to Scilly 'tis 35 leagues.
We hove our ship to with a wind from southwest, boys. We hove our ship to for to strike soundings clear. It's 45 fathoms with a white sandy bottom. We squared our main yard and up channel did steer.
We'll rant and we'll roar like true British sailors. We'll rant and we'll roar all on the salt seas until we strike soundings in the channel of old England. From Ushant to Scilly 'tis 35 leagues.
Now the first land we sighted, it is called the Dudman. Next Ramshead off Plymouth, start Portland and White. We sailed on by Beachy, by Fairley and Dungeness, and we hove our ship to off the South Foreland Light.
We'll rant and we'll roar like true British sailors. We'll rant and we'll roar all on the salt seas until we strike soundings in the channel of old England. From Ushant to Scilly 'tis 35 leagues.
Then the signal was given for the Grand Fleet to anchor, and all in the Downs that night for to lie. Let go your shank painter, likewise your cat stopper. Haul up your clew garnets, let tacks and sheets fly.
We'll rant and we'll roar like true British sailors. We'll rant and we'll roar all on the salt seas until we strike soundings in the channel of old England. From Ushant to Scilly 'tis 35 leagues.
Now let every man drink off his full bumper, and let every man toss off his full glass. We'll sing and be jolly and drown melancholy, and here's to the health of each true-hearted lass.
We'll rant and we'll roar like true British sailors. We'll rant and we'll roar all on the salt seas until we strike soundings in the channel of old England. From Ushant to Scilly 'tis 35 leagues.
So there you go, boys. That was Spanish Ladies, which is a great Royal Navy song. Like I said, if you want to see some real history, as opposed to some biased history, come and see us tomorrow at 8 p.m. UK time Thursday. That's, let me think, 5 a.m. Eastern Australia time on Friday. And I think it's about 1900 Greenwich Mean Time. That'll be Horus, Ataman, and myself talking about basically British policy, really, and especially British defence policy, 1919 to about 1942 or 1943, the Washington Naval Treaty, and Winston Churchill, who I am no great fan of, but, you know, people know that. So come and see us then, chaps. And I just thought I'd put this out as a ad for this stream. Go well, and I'll see you tomorrow.